All right. I just thought of something that could have the potential to be absolutely game breaking. Earlier today, I was watching a video by the streamer and YouTuber OK Code on how all of the stats work and how damage works in the game. I highly recommend watching this video for starters because it does go over a lot of things. One of the biggest ones is how attack and damage buffs scale off of each other differently than you might think. Among some other really neat things like how break effect doesn't actually help you break better, which took me by surprise. It seems stupid, but it was good to learn, you know. But in this video, I was listening and I kind of thought, wait a minute. Could I make Sila not have to ever not have a turn? Right? So the big thing is energy restoration in this game and how it works. As you can read here on the fandom, using the basic attack regenerates 20 energy, a skill regenerates 30, ult refunds 5, so it's generating 5. And follow-up attacks may generate 5 or 10, depending on the character. Defeating an enemy generates 10, getting hit generates 2, 5, 12, 15, 20, 25, depending on the attack. And certain relics, Litecoins, and character skills also increase energy regeneration. The next thing we need to learn is that Sila's ult takes 120 energy. So I did some math, and what it comes out to doing the math here is on a basic attack plus the ult, because when you ult you get an extra turn, but it doesn't count as like a turn technically, and neither do ultimates. You would get 120 divided by 25. This is every ult and basic attack combination in those two kind of extra turn things combined brings you up to 25. And that's out of 120. That brings you down to 4.8 times 100. This will give you the percentage that you would need to theoretically be able to ult, basic attack, ult, basic attack, ult, basic attack infinitely with Sila. Literally never not go having turns, essentially, from your ultimate, your basic. You need 480% energy recharge on Sila. My Sila currently has 100%, which is the base. I need 380 more percent energy regen rate. Now, in Genshin Impact, my Raiden Shogun, I believe, is sitting somewhere at like 220%. And that's mostly because the electro damage bonus she gets from it was better than the damage I could put on her at the time, because I had really bad relics. So it was better just min-maxing, right? But in this game, it's a little bit harder, because I believe in your relics, there it is, you only have one piece that can be energy regen. I don't remember what piece it was. I believe it was either these ropes. I believe it was the ropes. The ropes are the only ones that can have energy regenerate. Yeah, energy regeneration rate right here. And at legendary rarity, they only go up to like 19% or so. And you can't get this as a substat, unlike Genshin Impact. And I feel like they might have done that on purpose, given what Sila can do. Because, I mean, if you could have enough energy recharged, you could just go forever. But in theory, if you could get enough energy recharge on Sila, you could go infinitely. And this is where MiHoYo and HoYoverse, whatever you want to see them as, needs to be careful. Because there are characters that can get really stupid with this. An example, right now, Bronya, her primary skill gives an damage buff for 1 turn. If you then, getting that damage buff, ult, get your extra turn after ulting, and you kill something each time, you could get ult, extra turn, kill, your other extra turn, kill, to get an extra turn, kill, to then do your turn. You can get up to 5 turns of the attack damage boost. I believe you can get up to all 5 because ult doesn't use it. The attack after, like the turn after, doesn't use it because it's an extra turn from the ult. But if you get kills, ult, extra turn off your talent, which doesn't use it, extra turn off your ult that doesn't use it, extra turn off of your kill again from the one that you get from your ult, kill, your main turn. So you can get 5 turns of this damage boost. It gets really stupid. 1 skill point turns into a possible 5 turns of damage boost. Where this can get really stupid though is if they create a character that can give an energy boost on a skill or ultimate for even 1 turn, that's enough to make it where Sila just goes, right? I believe the closest character that gets to that is Tingyun, because, let's see. I mean, her ultimate increases, or regenerates energy for an ally and increases their damage for turns. And I believe there was one other thing. Yeah, here, her talent, she regens energy. And I believe that's all she can do. And this is without Eidolons. Eidolons could change things. And then Asta, I believe, also regenerated. Let's see. Asta could also regenerate energy somehow. I believe hers is on an Eidolon, actually. Nope. Yes. Her regeneration rate increases when she's got enough stacks. But just kind of, you can see how it's close, but not quite enough to be able to add energy regeneration rate. So let's say you can get up to 120% off of that increase from the rope. You use energy regeneration and you get the rope and you get to 120%. You still, unfortunately, need to get to 480%. So you have another 360% energy regen that you have to worry about. Now, some light cones can give energy regeneration rate. I believe I might not have one. Yeah, right here regenerates 8 energy for a random chosen ally when their turn starts. If their energy is lower than 50%. And there's other light cones that can do that as well. There could be traces that do something kind of funky with that. But essentially, MiHoYo has to be careful now of how much they can kind of power creep energy regenerators, if that's the right term to kind of call them as. Because if you get someone that regenerates energy too much, Sila can just go and go infinite. And the other thing too is there will never be able to be a character where you can make it to where for a turn or whatever, said character that they use their ability on or whatever does not use a skill point. So let's say Sila's skill can now be used without using a skill point for 1 turn, and you ult and you kill something. Then you use your skill. You don't use a skill point. Then you get your extra turn from your ult that you could use your skill. And then the turn from that, if you kill something, use your skill. That's 30, 60, 90, 120 on your turn, 5 from your ultimate. So you could go all 5 and then have your ult ready again. If you had it speed tuned to the character, you could then use their skill to bring it back to Sila, and all farming stages become trivialized at that point. Like if you're using your resin to go and get like the XP and stuff, right? In here, you do it for 6 times or whatever. And you just beat it. Nothing ever gets a turn. Not that it really gets one anyways with Sila, but at the high level, nothing would ever get a turn really, as long as your Sila's killing things and etc, etc. And then there's another thing that can be said with, can you build Sila's speed enough so that when she uses her skill and gets a 25% speed boost for 2 turns, if you used it multiple times, could you just lap your opponents enough to go infinite? And I think that this really gets showcased more if you have her specific light cone, because her light cone allows her to build speed better without sacrificing damage. So if you did that, let's say you went to 200 speed and everything else at 100 speed, you're lapping everything. Ult extra turn could be 60 if you use skill points, plus 2 5s is 70. And the math comes out to being like, you could get halfway there at 200 speed. 200 speed's probably hard to get to, but at 200 speed, you could get halfway there using 2 skill points. Or 55 out of 120, so a little under half. If you don't use skill points and you use your attack. So, like, you gotta kind of look at those there, because MiHoYo could very well mess up and just create a character that for one turn your skills are free, and a lot of the game gets trivialized instantly with Sila combo, essentially. Or, oh, for one turn, every time you attack, or when you attack, you regenerate 10 extra energy for one turn. Like, things like that could get really stupid, and now they have to be careful about that. Or you don't use a skill point for a turn, or you gain percent energy based on your max energy. Like, there's a light cone that increases your attack by a percentage off of per energy that your maximum energy takes for your ult, and that scales like crap for the most part. But if something was like you gain energy based on that energy, like, basically because of Sila's existence, energy amplifier characters will not be able to very easily exist in this game, because a little too much, and you could have a team where one character uses their skill, another character uses their skill, another character uses their skill, Sila goes infinite. So because of Sila existing, there's kind of a lot of restrictions placed on supports, which sucks. But in theory, if you got that rope, and from what I've been hearing, you can't get energy regen as a substat in this game, which sucks. But if you're able to get enough substats from traces, from your light cone, from relics if you can, from eidolons, from like other characters, like light cones where it's like your team gains 20% energy recharge rate, it can get really stupid really quickly. And even if you can't go infinite, you can get really close. And with your speed boost, if you're able to lap things, you could. And technically, if you want to think about it as well, with your speed boost, this math gets a lot easier. Because if you're double timing it, you could get another turn. So you could get ult, attack from your extra turn on your ult plus your attack. If you use your skill here and you get the speed bonus, or if you just have enough speed, you get to go here. You could use your skill again. So you could get another 60 plus the 25 would be 85 out of 120. And yeah, just a little boost could very easily get you there. You know, if you could get it to where you have 100 and if you gain 100 energy per turn, and then go 120% regen rate, which essentially the rope would get you at, you could go infinite in 2 turns with 200 speed. If everything else only at 100 speed, you'd lap them. And if you use your skill, you definitely lap them, because now you'd be at 250 speed. Like, high-end speed spectrum, you're probably looking at maybe closer to 100, and I believe her light cone goes up to like 170 speed. So at 170 speed, you know, I can actually check right now. What's her light cone go up to here? It goes up to every 10 speed that exceeds 100. It's 6% damage crit rate, or crit damage of the ult is increased, and it stacks up to 6 times. So 160 speed is how much that this would scale up to, which means it must be relatively easy. Not easy, but like conceivable to get to 160 speed, which means in theory at 160 speed, you would be able to go, and we can pull up the calculator. So let's go ahead and go 160 speed times. Well, yeah, 1.25 if you use your thing. That brings you to 200. If 200 is lapping anything, which honestly it tends to, a lot of things you'll find you do a rotation of your team and then they get to go. And some of my team characters only have like 98 speed. So some things are probably slower than 100 speed, which means, ta-da, just 200 speeds lapping. And now if you're doing 5 plus 20 plus 30 for the 3 turns you would get if you lap, 55, 120 divided by 55, 2.18. So now you only need 218% to get there. If you're somehow, if you kill things, you get 10 for killing it. Well, actually, if you kill everything every time, yes, you would just go infinite anyways, because you get 10 for kills plus 2 extra turns of 20. So that brings you to 55. Let's go 55. Let's say 45 because you don't use your skill. Plus 30 each time you get a kill, which for 3 sets of turns. Oh yeah. So if you're killing everything every time, and this is the thing with me right now, because the stages where you get the XP, right? Like XP, Litecoin XP, credits or whatever, where you, the calyxes where you're farming and you can set it to like 6 waves. My Sila is strong enough to one hit everything at the level I'm at. And when she one hits everything, she goes infinitely. Bronya very, very rarely has to give her any oomph. And usually it's just at the start, she gets a boost, she then ults, and then she goes forever because she gets infinite turns. So Sila kind of has a problem. Because if there's a way to go infinite with a character, it means the company that makes the game is never going to let that exist, which means there's a lot of possibilities for energy enablers, and like, because Genshin Impact would have like Fischl could help you get energy off the field. Bennett, you could use his E with a bunch of energy recharge, switch to Xiangling and get the energy because her energy regeneration sucked. And then you could ult and do all your things, right? In this game, probably not going to exist. Because if it did, Sila would instantaneously become a problem and they would have to probably like nerf her or nerf the character that causes the combo or delete the character that causes the combo. And honestly, with the beta client existing, it's probably going to get caught. Every single time that would ever have a chance of happening, it'd probably get caught. So, in theory, Sila can go infinite, but in practice, she still can go infinite, but only in, like, stages where an AoE character would be what would be considered the thing you would use. But she's a better AoE character, so screw Himiko and Serval and everybody, because Sila just does it better. But it could happen, so keep your eyes peeled, if it ever does happen, then everyone with Sila and that culmination of characters and Eidolons and Litecoins and Traces and Relics, we all beat the game, because nothing ever gets a turn, nothing ever gets to move. And not even just that it doesn't get to move or anything, so much as Sila just goes at the speed of light and instantaneously clears everything out, because she's the Flash. So, yeah, we'll make sure that doesn't happen, because that would get stupid. But if it did, I mean, I'm not gonna complain. It'll be out for like a week and then get nerfed like Zhongli did. in Genshin, but it'll be out for like a week, and I will take it and I will run with it and clear all of the content in the entire game. Then they'll get rid of it, and then I'm like, cool, I don't need to clear it anymore, I'm good. And then just sit there and do my dailies and get stronger. But infinite combo would be crazy. It would actually be insane.